A very warm welcome in the class of Mathematics 3. Today we are going to start one module under Mathematics 3, which is algebraic structure. Myself Rupak Bhattacharjee, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, JIS College of Engineering. So what we are going to learn in this particular topic and what are the processes we are going to follow will be discussed here. But before that, I just want to give you some idea on those topics which are required for us to make our path smooth in this learning approach. The prerequisites are very basic things. They are the concept of set theory. So we know that a collection of well-defined distinct objects are called set, and we know the basic properties like union, intersection, symmetric difference, these properties of sets, as well as we know the variations of sets like finite set, infinite set, and according to the element contained in the set, depending on that, we also have some idea on sets like set of real numbers, set of complex numbers, set of natural numbers, and so on. So these are very basic things which are already known to us from our starting from our school days and obviously in our first year. These are very important requirement of this particular topic. And secondly, we have to know also some basic mathematical operations. Means you can start thinking from simply addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. If you consider matrix, the operations of matrix, and obviously the combinations, like if you are taking two elements A and B and you are trying to find out A plus B minus A into B, these basic mathematical operations and their outputs are very important here because these will classify the thing whether we are going to get it a group or not. So proceeding further in a different manner, let us start our journey. If you see this picture, some of you can identify that this may be a mathematical representation with some half circles, some squares, some rectangles. Someone can also identify that it is nothing but a diagram or schematic diagram of a car, and obviously there are some symbols of some rotations, and if you look at the points which are in black color half circles, they may be notifying the wheels or the tires. So let us come into the reality and enjoy this one. This is a very beautiful presentation. This is a creation. This is a discovery. This is an invention, or whatever you can think. Ultimately, it is a pleasure of mind. It is nothing but the Ferrari. But beneath it, we do have some mathematics. We need some mathematical relationship. So extremely sorry to remove this picture, and we have to enter into the reality of this one segment. This is nothing but the tire rotation of various cars and vehicles with some changes, with some notations so that we can follow. The question is, whenever this instruction is there, we are following it. But why we are following it? What is the benefit of this? We have to think for that one also. So this is one real life issue, what we all know, but we have to think for that what is the mathematics or what are the mathematical connection between them. Let us proceed further. Now I am going to show you this matrix. You can think about, sir, it is a class of abstract algebra or algebraic structure, and it is matrix. So let us think, and this is the same matrix but with some different placement. This is also the same mattress, different placement. This one also so, this one also so, and this one also so. So what is this? Why I am talking about this one? From this thing to this thing, then from this to this, from this to this to this one to this one, this one to this one. Not only that, can I think for this? Or can I think like this one and then this one to directly this one to go back to this one? So now it is a jumbled up problem to you, I know. So let us make it mathematically represented. So this is our matrix, and I can represent this matrix of these four corners by naming 1, 2, 3 and 4. And look at this, though it is not properly understood that it is a rectangle, but all of us knows that it is a rectangle. It is just presented in this form so that the picture is taken in a distorted manner so that we can make it clearly identified. Otherwise this three-dimensional appearance is not possible for us to represent. But look at this, I have taken it from internet professor's presentation, but look at the position. So if I make this matrix in this form 1, 2, 3 and 4, the rotation means, look at this one will come here. So obviously these two will go directly here because this is completely rotated. So 1 comes here, so 2 comes here. So obviously 3 comes here and 4 goes here. So if you rotate it, you can take this one as 3, because if you want to make this similarity over here 1, 2 and 3, 4, so then it will be completely matched with this one. Otherwise you can take this one 3 and 4, then the diagram will be little bit different. So when the rotation is done, 1 goes to this position, that means it is 180-degree rotation. If you just match one line and if you just take the rotation over here, you will see that it will be 180-degree rotation. So this is one operation you are following. What is the meaning of flipping? Flipping means you just take this mattress and you just take this portion in the, that means head portion, in the leg portion, and the leg portion will automatically go to the head portion, and head to toe, that means this is our head to toe portion. Flipping means you are just reversing, this means you are making this one and this one. So look at this, linguistic representation is not very much easy to understood, it creates confusion. Rather, if we represent it in mathematically, look at this how much easy it is. So rotation is now clear. Now flipping means, look at this 3 was here, you just flip that in this direction. That means if you think it is north, it is south, it is west and it is east, so east to west changing is your flipping. So if you flip this 3 and 1 will come here and 4 and 2 will go here. Clear? And what is head to toe? Head to toe, that's just what I have discussed. That means if you take this rotation not in this but in this manner, or in this manner, then it is coming as head to toe. Look at this, if you change this thing head to toe, then what will happen? This 3 to 4 will come in the upper portion and 1 to 2 will come in the lower portion. So this is our head to toe operation. So how many operations we are getting? One is rotation, another one is flipping, and another one is head to toe changing. 3 operations we have defined. Have you observed in the whole process only one thing, that whatever the operations you are making on this mattress, ultimately the mattress remains same with some different orientation, but the mattress is not completely changed from mattress to some distorted one, or some mattress is broken one, or mattress is divided by two it is not coming here. So why I am emphasizing on this story? This is the second part of our discussion, that is, if you rotate this you will get this one, and please check, if you flip this then you will get this one. Again if you rotate this, then this 3 will be again by 180 degree will come here and 4 will go here, you will get this one. And again if you flip this, that means this 1 will go to this position and this 2 will come here, similarly for 3 and 4, and you will get the original matrix or the initial position of this matrix. But is it the only way? No. Look at this. There are double directional arrow, means if you rotate it and then again if you rotate it in the same logic, you will get the same matrix. If you make it head to toe and then again if you make it head to toe, you will get the same matrix. If you flip it 2 times, you will get the same matrix. If you rotate, then flip, then rotate, then flip, you will get the same matrix. If you rotate, then flip, then head to toe, you will get the same matrix. If you rotate, then head to toe, then flip, you will get the same matrix. If you flip, then you head to toe, then you rotate, you will get the same matrix. So it is a problem of very interesting type, and you have to make these changes if you are a very basic learner on this topic or whatever. You have to make these changes by your own drawing, by your own visualization and realization. Then only you will understand that why we are entering into this topic in so importantly. So let us go for the next slide and check what we are asking for. If F denotes flipping like the last slide and R denotes rotation and H denotes head to toe, then what is the story of composition of these operations? Means if you write R of matrix, that means you are rotating the matrix, and if you write F of R of matrix, that means after rotating you are flipping it, means you are writing it in this direction but the operation is doing in this direction. So let us start from the first one. If you take the matrix and rotate it, if you take this matrix and rotate it, you will get this one. After that, if you are flipping it, you will get this one. But if you make this matrix head to toe changing, you will get this one directly. Means composition of these two operations gives you another operation which is already in this particular set of operations. Because if I consider flipping, rotation and head to toe, these three operations are only operations in my hand, then if I rotate first then flip, we will get the head to toe operation. Similarly, if you flip then head to toe, you will get the rotation. Look at this, if you are flipping it, then you are making the head to toe, you will getting the matrix which you get after rotation. Similarly, if you take three operations, that means first of all rotation, then flipping, then head to toe, what you get? The matrix is same as it was, so identity. So from this, if I write first of all rotation, then flipping, then rotation, then flipping, I am writing it in this way. So I have to write this one as rotation of matrix, then I have to make a flipping, then I have to make another rotation, and then I have to make flipping. Will there be any change? The matrix will remain same in the position as it is remains same. That means its position remains identical and you are getting the matrix as it was. So look at this. This whole thing gives you that the combination of these operations resulting the operation which is already in this set. This idea is very important in the context of the next. But before going into the technical discussion on the topic, I just want to know that if it is possible for you to find out some pattern for this story, please try to identify that. Okay, so now we are entering in the concept of binary operation. What does it mean? It means if you take a non-empty set, S is non-empty. Please keep this information always in your mind. You need always the concepts as S is non-empty set. A binary operation on S is a function from S cross S into S. Means you are going to take some element from S, another element from S. You are operating these two together with, and the resulting thing is present on this particular set S, like the example what we have stated in the previous slide. In that slide, the S contains F, R and H. You are taking two elements from S, that means you can take F and R, you can take F and H, you can take R and H, you can take F and H, but ultimately the result what you are getting, you are seeing, you have already experienced that it is present in the set. So that particular set was non-empty set, and the binary operation what we have defined, that the composition of those operations gives you another operation which is already present in that set S. So it is binary operation. So let us check. If we take an ordered pair X and Y from S, the binary operation assigns a third member of S. It is not at all mandatory that third member has to be distinct from this X and Y. They may be same. But for example, now your discussion is coming into the track of your known fact, that is addition. This addition means usual addition. It is a binary operation on Z. So look at this. First of all, you have to concentrate on this Z. Z is a non-empty set, and you are taking the operation addition. You are taking the pair 2 and 1. That 2 is in Z, 1 is in Z. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 is also in Z. So this indicates that this addition is a binary operation, but it is not proving it. It is merely an example. If you have to prove it, you have to prove it by your logic for the whole set. But now it is in the testing stage in our discussion. First of all, we have to be verifying this. Then we have to get some confidence on that. Then only we can proceed. Okay. So now what we are seeing, then we are making it generalized, that if the binary operation is denoted as star, we write in various manners. X star Y we can write star of X comma Y, or you can define your own notation, the image of star. That means from this set and from this set, when you are taking S, it is S, and another set S same of this, you are taking S crosses. That means you are taking one element, when you are combining them by your operation, you are getting the resulting is over here. It is the happy face of the binary operation. Now what we are seeing, if there is something special in this binary operation, then obviously there must be something which is not following this one. So we are taking 2 and 5 from this set of natural numbers, and we are taking the subtraction. So if we are making 2 minus 5, we are getting minus 3. So obviously minus 3 is not in the set of natural numbers. So on the basis of this set of natural numbers, please concentrate. If the set changes, maybe the operation becomes binary operation. But for the specific set, here it is set of natural numbers. We are seeing that one counter example is present, so it is not closed under subtraction. Now we are going to have some little bit elaborate discussion on this. We are taking the set of natural numbers with addition first. You will see that you can take any two natural numbers. If you add them 1 2 2 3 3 33 33 39, all are giving you another natural number, so it is binary operation. But already you have make it clear that if you take subtraction in the context of binary operation, it is not. Why not? Because the example is already stated. If I change the set, if I take the set of real numbers and if I are taking addition, look at this, it is a binary operation because any addition of two real numbers is a real number. And if you take the set of real numbers and subtraction, look at this, how beautiful the discussion is. It is going to be the binary operation because when you are going to take two real numbers, obviously their subtraction will be a real number. It may be 0.2 minus 0.1 or 0.1 minus 0.2. Always the results what you are getting are real numbers. So in this context, as your statement supports your claim, then subtraction is a binary operation on the set of real numbers. This is very important. And when we are taking one set S which is non-empty and which is closed under the operation star, binary operation, when I've taken means this is a binary operation on this, then only obviously S is closed on star. It is having a special name, this structure. This is called groupoid. Now proceeding further, another property we are starting, it is associative property. Here also we have to start with the same concept, that we are taking a set which is non-empty and we are taking one binary operation star, means already it is tested, verified that it is a binary operation. Then if we see we are taking three elements A, B and C from S, A star B star C, if A star B star C, then we will call it associative property. What is the meaning? Meaning it is that we are operating star for ABC, the order. First we are operating A and B, then the resultant is operated with C, and here the operation is on B and C, then the resultant is taken on A. But thing is that the order of operation is changed, but the position of the elements are not. You have not changed the position of A and B by B and A or A and C by C and A. Keep it in your mind. This is the requirement of our associative property. Now, if we take the set of natural numbers with addition, obviously it is a non-empty set. So if you take 2 plus 3 plus 4 and 2 plus 3 plus 4, look at this. If you place your bracket over here and if you place your bracket over here, you are going to get the same result. Clear? And similarly, if you take the set of real numbers and if you are making it tested, you will get it is also okay. But if you take the set of real numbers and subtraction, then what is the case? Suppose these are all real numbers 2, 3, 4. So if I take 2 minus 3 minus 4 and here 2 minus 3 minus 4 and the brackets are in this position, what we are getting, 2 minus 3 is minus 1, minus 4, that is minus 5, and what we are getting here, 2 minus 3 minus 4 is minus 1, so we are getting 2 plus 1, that is 3. Are they same? So this is not associative. Though we have observed very important observation, because it is, you have to make it your habit to make the thing more confident. When we are talking about set of natural numbers and we are talking about set of real numbers, here this one is closed, this one is closed, this one is not closed, but this one is closed. So there is no question of checking whether it is associative or not. No question of checking. But as it is closed, we are checking for associativity, but we failed here. In case of set of natural numbers, along with subtraction, we are not yet checking that because it is not closed. So there is no need to check it. But as in case of set of real numbers, with subtraction, it was closed. We are testing for associativity and we failed here. So the set is obviously a non-empty set with a binary operation star. If associative, it means if closed and associative, obviously, then it is having another name. It is called as semigroup. Now we are moving forward to another property which is called identity property. By the name it is very much clear that why it is termed as identity. That means it keeps something identical. So similar manner we are starting the set of S which is non-empty and we are taking one binary operation star. What does it mean? If you have one element A in S, and if you have another element E in S such that A composition E is A and E composition A is also A, means the composition of E with A from left hand side or from right hand side, in both the cases keeps the element unchanged or identical, as this element after operation keeps this element unchanged. We can call this thing as an identity element if and only if it will be true for all A. Clear? It will be clear when we are going to give you some example. So let us start for our example. We are taking, suppose, the set of natural numbers and addition. So take 1, take addition, take a gap, you want it to be 1. So what should be here? 0. 0 is in n. Answer is no. Identity element is not present. So identity property does not holds good for n plus. It is as simple as that. But if you take the set of natural numbers union the element 0, means you are considering it along with this set with addition, your set becomes 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on instead of 1, 2, 3 and so on. Now you will see any natural number with addition of 0 remains same, or 0 with addition of any natural number keeps the natural number as it was. So n union 0 with addition is having the identity property. We are proceeding further for some more example. Suppose we are taking R plus. It is clear to you that 0 will be the identity element, but we are changing the operation to R usual multiplication. First of all, is it closed? multiplication of any two real numbers is closed. If you multiply it in associative property verification, you will see that it will be associative. But in the context of identity, you need 0.2 into something is equal to 0.2 and something into 0.2 is equal to 0.2. So obviously it will be 1, and you know that 1 is in R. So identity property is there. But look at this. When your operation changes from plus to multiplication, your identity element changes. When your set remains same, but you are changing this, obviously you have changed the identity element of if exists. So in the context of set of natural numbers with multiplication, you please think what will be the case for identity property. And for other sets you can consider, construct, and you can think for. So we are getting here the elements where identity property exists, and we are getting some structure where identity property does not exist. Where it exists, it is termed as monoid. Proceeding further, inverse property. Before entering into this inverse property, I want to share one information with you. From your very much childhood days, you have learned that A inverse means 1 by A, 2 inverse is 1 by 2, and so on. But I can prove you now that 3 inverse is minus 3. Interesting? Yes, 3 inverse is minus 3. So when you are going to declare this term called inverse, before that you have to make it clear that what operation you are talking about, what set you are talking about. But in our childhood days, it is not possible for us as well as for our teachers to make it clear, because our maturity level is not up to that mark to grab this one. But here, up to today's discussion, I think you are very much confident in this segment that 3 inverse, when you are talking about what set you are considering. Suppose I am considering the set of real numbers and I am considering addition. Then our requirement is that from A in R, we need 1B in R such that A composition B is equal to E and B composition A is equal to E. E is already identified, it is our identity element, and it is very much obvious to us that as inverse property depends on the identity element, so the set along with the binary operation, if does not contain identity element, then there is no question of having any inverse property or inverse element. So we have to take only those structures where identity element is present. So R plus, we know that the identity element is 0. And we have the concept that A inverse is nothing but the notation of the inverse element of A. So here we can write actually B is equal to A inverse. So if we take 0.2, our operation is plus, we need something so that it will give us the identity element of R plus, which is 0. What will be coming here? Minus 0.2. So if we take 3 plus something as 0, what I need? Minus 3. So in general, if you compare it with this structure, then if your A is 0.2, your A inverse is minus 0.2. Similarly, if your A is 3, your A inverse is minus 3. And I have proved my claim that 3 inverse is minus 3 because A you have taken 3. So in the next line, you can write 3 inverse equal to minus 3. So I am right. Are you wrong? Whenever your claim is 3 inverse is equal to 1 by 3, are you wrong? You are also not wrong, but you are suppressing some information that your structure is R multiplication. So what is the identity element over here? Identity element is 1. So you need 3 into something is equal to 1, where my requirement was 3 plus something is equal to 0. So 3 into something is equal to 1 means you need 1 by 3 over here. So your A is 3, your B is 1 by 3, that means your A inverse is 1 by 3, so your 3 inverse is also 1 by 3. So your 3 inverse is 1 by 3 is right, my 3 inverse is minus 3 is also right. It depends on the structure, and I think now it is crystal clear to you that what is the inverse property. So when one structure follows all those properties sequentially, starting from closure property, then associative property, then identity property, and finally the inverse property, that algebraic structure together with is called as group. So this is the formal definition of group. A group is an ordered pair G star, where G is a non-empty set and star is a binary operation on G, such that the following properties hold. First one, associativity. Second one, existence of identity element. Third one, existence of inverse element. So it is nothing but is a mathematical system satisfying axioms G1 to G3. But for you, I want to emphasize on that part. Sometimes in some textbooks, you can get instead of 3, 4 properties, where they are mentioning the first one as closure property. Actually, it is redundant because when I am talking about, I am starting G star, where star I am mentioning it is binary operation. Binary operation means is closed from definition because it gives us, I am taking A and B from S, then A composition B must be is in S. It means it is already closed. The definition of binary operation and closure property is same. So there is no need to mention 4 if you are mentioning it is a binary operation. Clear? Okay, so proceeding further, we are now going to discuss one more property which is called commutative property. So what does it mean? That means it can commute. So if in a cinema hall, if this is my sitting position and this is my friend sitting position, if we change it, the same movie we are going to enjoy. Clear? But you have some real life instances that only one ticket is available, and here in the queue I am here and you are here. If I interchange the position, then you will get the ticket, I am not. So all the operations in your real life examples are not commutative, some of them, and some are not. In mathematics also, in this structure also, there are some operations what you can commute, and there are some operations what you can't. So if your structure is non-empty structure with your binary composition star follows A star B is equal to B star A for all AB, then it is commutative. If not, then it is non-commutative. Ultimately, if you have a group, it is not mandatory to have a group, but if you have a group which is commutative property present over there is called commutative group, or by the name of famous mathematician Abel, it is termed as Abelian group. Please emphasize on one segment that there may be a group which is not commutative, because commutative it is an adjective. It is not the inherent property of group, but the last four properties are mandatory to become a group. So you can have a semi group which is commutative. It is possible because commutativity is a property of this binary operation on this set. But it is not possible that you are not having a group which is commutative group, which is not a group but commutative group. You can't claim it because logically it is not possible. Obviously, example you can't generate. Now we are going to state some example. This is our set S. So we can see that it is non-empty. If you observe it very closely, you can see that it is nothing but the set of roots of 1 if it is raised to power 4. Means fourth root of 1, and there are 4 roots, 1, minus 1, I and minus I. So how you can manage this one and how you are going to take this one? Immediately you have a question that what operation is associated with that, and I am giving you that this is our operation, that is multiplication, usual multiplication. So if usual multiplication is there, first of all we have to check that whether is usual multiplication is a binary operation or not for this particular structure. So this, what we have to do, we have to take any two elements and you have to prove that the element is present in this particular set. So if you take 1 and minus 1, their multiplication is minus 1. If you take 1 and I, it is I. If you take 1 and minus I, it is minus I. But in this manner, it is possible for you to construct these fourth elements. But is it possible if it is a long set? So you need some different technique to prove it. But before that, at least at this moment, we see that whatever the elements you are taking from this to say these sets, you will get it is closed. That means it is a binary operation. Now second, as we know that usual multiplication is associative for this set, for real number sets, for complex number sets, then it will also be associative. Now you need one element for which you are getting the operation keeps the element unaltered. As your operation is here, already we have discussed in the previous slides, it is usual multiplication and 1 is present. We know that 1 is the identity element of usual multiplication. So identity property is also good. Now finally the fourth one, what is for the inverse? So if we take 1 and we need something to get 1, it will be 1. If we take minus 1, we need something to get 1, it is minus 1. So look at this, minus 1 is present here, so it is its self inverse. See, like 1. Then I into something is equal to 1. What it will be here? I square is minus 1, we know that. So I need minus I, and minus I is present in this set. And similarly, minus I into I is equal to 1. So for 1, for minus 1, for I, for minus I, we are getting 1, minus 1, minus I and I, so that their product is the identity element of this set. So all elements are having its inverse. So inverse property is also holds. So ultimately we can claim that it becomes a group. Now for our inquisitiveness, we can check whether it is a commutative group or not. So if you take any two elements, for example, this is commutative, or logically you can say as usual multiplication is commutative. So you can claim that it is your commutative group also. So this is a basic example. Now one observation. One is self-inverse. Minus 1 is also here self-inverse. but 1 is identity, minus 1 is not. So my question to you is that if it is identity, it will be self-inverse, but if it is self-inverse, it is going to be identity, it is not guaranteed. Try to prove it. And what I am trying to say, another representation which is very important over here. Suppose you are taking this operation as multiplication. You write all your elements over here. Now this will create one composition table. 1 1 is 1, 1 minus 1 is minus 1, 1 I is I, 1 minus I is minus I. Minus 1 1 is minus 1, this is 1, this is minus I, this is I. Then I into 1 is I, it is minus I square, I into I square is minus 1, and this is 1. And minus I into 1, that is minus I, it is I square is minus 1, minus, so it is 1, and this is I square is minus 1. So what you see, this is all possible combinations, and all the elements present here are present in the set, so it is closed. You are getting the identity element in each and every row. It means you are getting something in the top portion and the parallel portion, so that their composition gives you I, means 1 here, identity element. So identity property as well as inverse property all are true, and there are some more observations you can make. I am requesting you to find it out, not only for this composition table but for some different compositions table you can also think for. Now proceeding further, another example I am going to take, because already you may be having only one idea that sir is already taking usual addition, subtraction and something like that. So I am taking another example of this one. Suppose you are taking one matrix 1 2 2 1, and suppose you are taking another matrix 1 1 1 2. Before multiplying it, you may multiply it, but before multiplying it, can't you confident that when you are taking 2 cross 2 matrices, then the resulting matrix will be a 2 cross 2 matrix. So if your set is a set of collection of all 2 cross 2 matrices, then their product will be always 2 cross 2, so closure property holds here. And if you are taking a 2 cross 2 matrix, and if you are adding with another 2 cross 2 matrix, then also you are going to get another 2 cross 2 matrix. You are also confident on this. So matrix addition for this set, matrix multiplication for this set, both are closure. The question is, when you are thinking for the next properties, suppose this one, associativity also holds good here. Next, identity element. So if you are taking 2 1 2 3 plus something, you need 2 1 2 3, you know what is to be there. But if you are thinking about 1 1 1 1 into something is equal to 1 1 1 1, you know, is it guaranteed that you will get the set? Yes, you can take that. I will make 1 1 1 0 0 1 over here, and I will get. My next question is, here 2 1 2 3 plus something is equal to 0 0 0 0 if asked, then minus 2 minus 1 minus 2 minus 3, you can say it directly. But if here it is asked 1 1 1 1 into something is equal to 1 0 0 1, that means identity matrix in the context of matrix multiplication of order 2. Are you confident that the result you can get? Because I am asking, I think some of you may have observed that for having inverse element in the matrix concept, you need this one. Determinant of A is not equal to 0, but what the matrix is here, 1 1 1 1, you are getting the result of this determinant is 0. So I'm talking about determinant, so I should write it as 0 here. My ultimate target is to prove that if you are taking that the set of non-singular matrices, that is different, but if you are taking all matrices of order 2, and if you are taking the matrix operation addition, and if you are taking the matrix operation multiplication, you have to think for this one. And obviously your conclusion, I know that what you have concluded, this conclusion is very important for your understanding. Clear? Now proceeding further, you are seeing that something is written over here. It is Klein's 4 group. It is a very interesting group. Before coming into the group, I do have one discussion on this, that is how it is defined. So we have taken one set S which contains E, A, B, C. It is a finite set containing 4 elements. Here the binary operation is defined as E composition, I write it as star, E composition A is A composition E as A. It is defined to you, you have to just observe this. E composition B is equal to B composition E is equal to A. Nothing to memorize. After writing it all this, you will be able to identify that what is the pattern on it. Rather, you start identifying the C composition E is equal to C, and E composition E is equal to A composition A is equal to B composition B is equal to C composition C is equal to E. It is defined. Clear? And finally, B composition C is equal to C composition B is equal to A composition B is equal to B composition A is equal to C, and A composition C is equal to C composition A is equal to B. All these are given to you. Your job is to construct the composition table. So let us start. So this is our composition structure. I am starting it with E, A, B, C. So it will be E, A, B, C. Okay. So E composition E, what is given? It is E. E composition A, what is given? So it will be B, it will be C. Next, A composition E, what is given? A composition A, E, A composition B, C, A composition C, B. Similarly, it will be B, C, B composition B, it is given as E. Look at this, B composition B is E, and B composition C, it remains A. And for the last operation, C, then B, then A, and then it is C composition C, it will be E. So this is our whole structure. Now look at this. this property, A composition B is equal to B composition A composition C is equal to C composition A, all these properties gives you the information that it is commutative. And this whole structure gives you the idea that it is a group because it follows closure property, it follows the identity property, it follows the inverse property for each and every element because identity element is present in each and every row, and obviously it is associative. So it is a commutative group, and we need to mention one term here, but it will be clear in the next class, that it is a commutative group of order 4. Keep it in your mind why I am mentioning this one. So ultimately we are stopping over here for the first class, and we have a very strong reference from these two textbooks, and obviously I have taken something from internet also. And finally I have some assignments for you. You do have some already discussed topic in this particular structure. Try to solve it, and for any confusion please communicate. So thank you all for your listening. Happy listening, happy learning.